Hi, I'm Dia. Welcome to Dia's Picks, your arts events guide to the unusual, unique, and underground in San Diego. So this week's lineup starts with Thursday. Looming is an art exhibition with the renowned Cuban artist Ivan Abreu at the Front Arte Cultura Gallery in San Isidro. It opens from 6 to 9, so don't miss that. On Friday, September 4th, the exhibition A Tiny Space of Silence features new works by Becky Gooden, and the exhibition is going to be held at the Low Gallery in Barrio Logan. And for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, September 5th and 6th, I encourage you to see the art exhibition Ephemeral Objects at the San Diego Art Institute, and we will be speaking with the curator, Andy Horwitz, in just a moment. And if you're interested in a theatrical production that features the work of a really famous artist in America, Mark Rothko, then you should definitely see Red. This is written by a award-winning screenwriter and playwright, John Logan, from Puerto Rico, and is about Mark Rothko as he receives a great commission for the Four Seasons in New York, and also about his relationship with his young assistant, Ken. Sounds fun and exciting, so don't miss that at the 10th Avenue Arts Center downtown. That's all I have for you, and we will be speaking with Andy in just a moment. Hi Andy, could you tell us a little bit about this show, give an introduction?
Oh, sure. The show's called Ephemeral Objects. It's at SDAI, and it's exploring the idea of ephemerality and sort of the intersection of art and technology and post-object art. So we've got a lot of video art, algorithmic art, some really fun interactive work. It's a pretty great exhibit. It's very sound-oriented too, really sound.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about this piece that we're standing in front of?
Sure, this is Good Vibrations. It's by Catherine Zizensky, and it's a mixed media piece. The MP3 player is not working at the moment. We would be hearing Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys playing.
Well,
on
I
an
can
endless
imagine
loop.
that.
It's pretty catchy. The video that you're seeing is actually 3 layers of video composited, moving in different directions. It changes over time, and what is one of the things that's cool about it is that the multiple patterns of colors are actually created from paint swatches that she's collaged together, and the middle actually sticks out from the wall. This is actually he crowdsourced a data set of websites. He asked people anonymously, like, what websites do you think objectify people? And he got like a list of thousands of websites, and he used that data set, and he's created a program that like surfs the web based on that data. It's sort of about objectifying people, but also he uses object-oriented programming. It's never the same, so every time you come back and look at it, it's like doing something different. Occasionally, like, it'll start downloading a movie or something like that, and that'll be weird, and it'll be
so interesting. It's kind of like how people's opinions are formulating like a new space or a new artwork, you know.
Yeah, this is the other piece of it. This is even harder for me to explain, but basically you'll see it's like Ruby, Python, Node, .js, Perl. These are all sort of the fundamental programs that create the architecture of the internet. And what he's got is he's got a program running that is doing these calls to different servers and sort of constantly updating the program. This is about ephemerality of software, where it's always in decay.
Wow.
It's always evolving and dying and changing. So essentially, this is like a durational performance by a computer, where it's updating. So the piece to my right is Real Time by Shannon Willis. And it's sort of an immersive multimedia installation. She's got these hanging fabrics. She's projecting images of dolphins and surf and fire, and she's really exploring. She's kind of into environmental stuff, but also the experience of the art is that it's not a fixed thing. The gauzy fabrics and the projections sort of make you think about temporality. And it's also just beautiful to look at people, and you can go in it. So
those are actually things that remind me of San Diego too, like fires, the fire season, and we're so prone in this environment to fires in the drought, and then the ocean and dolphins, like all
Yeah,
these things
yeah.
make me think a lot about, how we sometimes think about San Diego.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. This is by So Limited, and they're an art group led by Justin Manor, and they're also a company. They do data visualization for big clients and stuff. But this is a really interesting piece. I went and did a studio visit, and they were actually working on this at the time. This is kind of a prototype. This is broadcast television. There's I think it's called line 61 or line 21 of broadcast television that sends all this extra data, or all television. And so what this does is strips out the data and then sort of plays and then renders it as text. And so it's really about sort of deconstructing broadcast television and also decay, because as television has gotten more and more complicated, this data has become more and more fractured because the protocols change and all that kind of stuff. And then this is an old television thing that back in the day, if you were a television producer, on the technical end, you would be able to do this to check. I think it's a spectrometer.
It looks so medical.
Yeah,
like
waveform monitor.
like
But it's really just Andre and Marinta Skupin. And what they did was they ran over 1 million Last FM, that streaming music service, tags through an equation or an algorithm. And then they also used GIS data, geographic data, to sort of create a speculative map of music. And what you can do is you can look through the whole thing and you can find a spot where, like, oh, I'm really into mellow progressive trance, and you put yourself on the map.
Okay, so it's an interactive piece.
Almost all of these are interactive on some level. Yeah, but interactive in really different ways.
Well, it's interesting how people choose to interact with the piece as well. Like kind of adding to the mapping in a way, as it melts and then can just kind of fall apart.
Well, that was part of what was so exciting about putting the show together, was taking the idea of ephemerality in many different directions and seeing what artists came back with. And Andrea proposed this work, and I was super excited about it. First of all, I think that she's just a really thoughtful and courageous artist and very adventurous in her work. And I really love the idea that when the show opened, these were all pretty much standing up, and by the time the show's over, they're probably going to be puddles of melted sugar. And I think she even says on here that it's pure cane sugar tourism and time, because she's really, I think she's talking because of the nature of the figures and because of the brown sugar and all this. So I think, she's sort of, and a lot of her work is, I think she's from the Caribbean originally, or has roots there.
Yeah.
So the impact of like tourism and colonialism. So it's amazing to have pieces like this that are really tactile, that are really visceral and material, but still decaying, in dialogue with with Max's piece right across the way. Francisco Eme.
Another one of my favorites.
He's really one of these lines are the paths of 6 normal citizens in Mexico City that they take to work every day. Google Earth image.
And then what are the sounds relating to those journeys?
Well, so he went and traced them again and recorded it. So he took all the audio that he made from recording it. It's over, I forget the number, it's on the wall tag, it's like over 100 miles. And he just walked the whole thing and recorded it and then sped it up 10 times. It's just a really interesting conversation, because he's talking about how do people make their way through the world. What is the work involved? How do these things map together? How do the digital world and the virtual world allow us to see it in different ways, understand it in different ways, but also maybe change the way we do things, and how some people still have to walk 6 miles or whatever.
Right.
So it's I wish we had time to show you all the pieces. It's such a
Well, I'm
going
to encourage everyone who sees this to come and see the show for themselves in person. It's fabulous and very engaging at San Diego Art Institute. And when does the show close? Do you know?
I think it's open until September 27th, the last Sunday of the month. So you have some time. Come on down. Thank you so much for coming to check it out.
Only 25 more days, so hurry.
Yeah, we'll see you here.
Okay, that's all I have for you. Ta-ta for now. I'll just video you doing this.
Because this is, these make noise. Yeah. So, and what's great is you see the kids love to do it. And you'll notice, like, it's not heavy-handed, but the white ones, you can't touch or do anything to the white ones, but you can beat up the black and the red ones. So,
That's cool.
Yeah. And then, so it's that same sort of like, these are meant to, like, they're going to get beat up by the end of the month.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to be the art objects that they started at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the sound, so actually the piece itself is us playing it and doing it, like, over the course of the thing. That is also.
Oh, awesome.